Okay, Ramon, my friend, how are you today?
I'm doing great. What's going on?
Well, I'm good too. I would like to present. I don't know if you allow me to present me.
Go right ahead, Eduardo. The floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Well, well, for everyone, my name is Eduardo del Castillo. I live in Lima, Peru. I actually work in my own company. I am an engineer. I have an MBA degree, and I work in a company about ISO certification. That is a business especially dedicated to do service or to do service to other companies. I I am 31 years old. I am
Okay,
single.
okay.
I am single. What else would you want to know about me?
Alrighty. Okay, so you covered most of the bases. I would like to know what field is your company in?
Depend, especially it's consulting company. I mean, we do all relating to ISO certification. For example, if a company wants to get a certification because they need proof their client that they have a high standard of in their process, they come to us to us making an evaluation. We evaluate everything according to this manual. And if, for example, the company have everything that manual says, sorry, we give them the certified. This process could take about 1 week or 2 weeks, depend the size of the company. Normally, it's very quickly, and it's really easy too, because normally companies before to call us, they have everything okay, everything in order.
Okay, okay, interesting. And you grew up in Peru?
Yes, mainly our clients are in Peru. Our providers are in other countries. They are, for example, in Slovakia, in Greece, in Austria, in India, and they work with us. For example, they are the central office, and we are a subsidiary of this office. They work with us in a way that we represent their brands here in Peru, and they give us all the support we need in each service. And it's really I like that because I learn a lot about them. They have their own process, they have their own people to work there, they have their own way to work, so we can teach about them. So that's I like about them.
Awesome. Awesome. But you personally, you were born and raised in Peru your whole life.
Yes, totally. My whole life is born in Peru. I was talking about my company, okay, but me, yes, I have born in Peru. I never been outside of Peru, but I promise this year I'm going to travel outside.
Okay.
I will.
And
I would like to start to travel to you.
and what can you say about growing up in Peru? Is
I
there
can
something you can tell me about that?
yes, it's quiet. It's normal. It's really easy to live here. Of course, depend neighborhood, depend the family you have, depend your environment. But normally, I would say that it's a good place. Uh, I have lived here. I have go to the school here. I have many friends here. I especially grew up on the capital of Peru, that is Lima. I do not live especially in the center or in the best district, but I live in I have lived in good neighborhoods. I have lived with my parents until my 30s. After that, I moved to my apartment alone because it's better. It's more productive to live alone. I consider at least. And that's all. That's all about me.
Right,
That's all.
Eduardo.
So,
And what would you say is your mantra? If you had to give somebody like a piece of advice or maybe something you live by, what would you say it is?
well, I think I will say that I have many mantras. For
Pick one.
example, the last mantra that I have been thinking about in this last year is about never, never, but never. I don't know how to say that, but it's like, for example, never fears anyone's. Never fears anyone's. If you stop to do anything because you fear something, you are not going to achieve anything. Do not stop to doing something because of fear. You have to continue. You have to continue because it's really important to grow, and the only way to grow is to do what you fear.
Yeah, don't let fear stop you. Let fear motivate you, push you from behind
Yes, totally.
so that you can move forward. Okay,
Yes.
Eduardo. Thank you, man. Thank you for
And what about
shooting from
you?
the hip. What about me? Look, I'm here with my buddy, my best buddy, Abby, who is a Chihuahua slash Jack Russell rescue dog. So she's here hanging out with me right now. My name is Ramon. I come from South Florida in the United States. I'm currently an English tutor. You can book lessons with me as well. So stay tuned. I also run an online thrift store where I sell different kinds of clothes, mainly for men. Um, Maybe some sports, hip hop related, pop culture items. It's pretty cool if you check it out. It's called Prominent Thrifts and Gifts. And yeah, I'm just a regular guy. I like to go out and eat food with my family, and I like being outside. I like feeling the sun, the wind. I don't like being inside for too long, but I also enjoy communicating with my fellow friends like Eduardo, like people who are inspiring, people who can fulfill me with good knowledge and information. It's always good to connect with others. But yeah, man, that's pretty much it. This is the Tung Podcast, take 2 of episode 1. I'm just trying to get warmed up, trying to create something new, something different, a place where people from around the world can meet and connect and have conversations, positive and productive conversations. So, Eduardo, let me ask you a question. In Peru, how important would you say the English language is? Like, how often is it communicated? Is it very little? Is it in some places? Like, how is the English language a part of Peru?
Okay, I will say first of all that it's not only in Peru. It's, I think, in every word that in every place that people do not speak English as a mother language,
Or-
but or the first language. So. But for example, here I will say, especially me, I will say that it's important because it can let you to go outside. It can let you to learn more. It can let you to connect with the world. Because, for example, me that I work a lot with other with other people from other countries. So the only way to communicate is to speak in English, right? Because they do not speak Spanish. They do not speak a language similar than Spanish. So the only way to speak them is in English. It doesn't mean that they, for example, have English as a first language. No, I think that neither of them have English as a first language, but all of them speak English to communicate with me. So in that way, we can create an atmosphere, an environment where we can communicate easily, right? So it opens your doors, right? Imagine that, for example, a person that does not speak English and they have to work a consulting service with other countries. So it will be very difficult if they have to hire a contract, a translator, and try to communicate with them, because you cannot communicate well or as easy as you would like, right? So it's better to, in a way, it's better to work. It's better for work. It's better for if you want to get some information. For example, yesterday I wanted to read some books, and I didn't find some of them in Spanish, so I had to read them in English. So in that way, I can get the news, the last news, or at least updated in my field, right? So I will say it's a tool that help you to achieve what you want in many cases, especially in work and to get information.
Okay, I agree. But in Peru specifically, is there any part of the country or any city where there is English? Maybe
I
on
will say that
advertisement.
no. There are not a specific place where people can speak English, but I will say that there are places where where there are more people that speak English. For example, in expensive district, or in district where live people that have higher incomes, they speak most of them speak English very well, because they are in contact, they have family in other part of the world, so it's easier for them to speak English, or to find people to speak English. I won't say that there are a specific neighborhood, a specific place where there are a lot of people that speak English, because there are not here. But I will say that in this district you can find more people to speak English.
Yeah, like I can say that where I'm from in South Florida, I can find you a street where everybody speaks Spanish. Not a single person speaks English.
I will say, for example, that happens because there are many people who wants to move to the United States. For example, the United States have a lot of different cultures, different people from each part of the world, so it's more easier it's easier there to find these kind of people, right?
Yeah. And then, Spanish is also a beautiful language. I love Spanish. I think when it's well spoken, like when I hear like a poem being recited in Spanish, like it sounds good to me. Or like,
do you know what? Now that you mentioned that, the other time I was watching a documentary about language, about our language, how language shape your culture. For example, I will say that in some language there are some words that people used to use, and they, for example, repeat a lot, and in their mind they set some behaviors that are related for the way how they speak or how they express. So in that way, I will say that there are many cultures shaped by their language. In a way, you change your brain, right? You shape the way how you behave.
exactly.
So it's really interesting, and it's really interesting to have a place where you can find diversity, because you can learn more. You can have plastic person. You can find people that learn in different ways, that communicate in different ways, that act in different ways. So, in a way,
And
language shapes your mind.
what's the name of this documentary?
I will say it's an interview about I will say that it was an interview. I will share with you after our.
Yeah, because Spanish was ideally my first language. I learned Spanish first because my parents are Hispanic and they were immigrants. So when I went to school, in kindergarten, I had to start off with ESOL classes. And ESOL classes was the children that didn't know English, that only knew Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
And I was in that class. And then from then on, everything was English.
It's easy for you to learn English, or in a way, you can, if learning English help you to to think different and to see the world different? Do you feel that? Because many people say, for example, when you speak in different language or you express in different language than your first language, you see reality in different ways, right? Express or your way how you think change. Did you feel that?
Yes, because, for example, if in my mind I'm in a Spanish, like listening to Spanish music, eating Spanish food, talking to like hanging out with my like abuela at her house all day, going to Calle Ocho, there's like a vibe, right? There's like a culture that is attached to what would be speaking in Spanish or the language of Spanish. When I'm in English, then that has like its own vibe. Like a language definitely comes with a culture, for sure, 100%. And I know what you mean. It would be interesting to learn a third language to see what that would feel like. Because
so if you, for example, agree that when you speak in Spanish, it's a different way to behave or to express, don't you agree with the sentence that says that your language can change your behavior and your mind and maybe define your culture?
Yeah, I think so, but on a grand scale, some things, even translated through language, will still be the same. Some things, you know, if you are for example, some songs, some famous songs, even if heard in different languages, the message of the song remains the same.
Yes.
Or, okay, you know what's something that's very interesting to me that I didn't know? In Brazil, they changed the title of the movie in order to match the culture a little bit. For example,
what do you mean?
Okay, do you know the movie The Hangover?
Yes.
Okay, The Hangover. Do you know what's a hangover?
I don't quite remember that now.
All right, Tung Podcast, ladies and gentlemen, this is our word of the day that we are going to learn. Today's word is hangover. Hangover is a combination of two words, hang and over. But when you put it together, it's a hangover. A hangover is the feeling you feel the day after a night of lots of drinking. So if you've been drinking all night, the next day you might have a hangover. You feel tired, you feel sick.
It's like you do not do anything. You do not want to do anything, right?
Hangover. So this movie is about a couple guys that are in Las Vegas.
Okay.
And they go out drinking and having fun because one of the guys is gonna get married. So they had like a bachelor party night, and it's called The Hangover. In Brazil, the same exact movie is not called The Hangover. It's called Don't Drink and Get Married. That's the title.
The title of the movie?
Don't Drink and Get Married. And my friend from Brazil, he says that phrase is supposed to translate as the hangover.
Yes.
And I was like, I disagree. I think the title has nothing to do like with the original title. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like,
yes, I will say that you have to put it in context, right? It's not only translate because you want to translate. It happened a lot here, even in some, for example, movies. In some movie that you can see on cinema, or in theater, you can see the same mistake, right? They translate as they sound, but they don't analyze the context.
So it's I'm
Sometimes it's better to not translate.
yeah, just leave the same title, The Hangover. I mean, if they were translating a different language, I get it, but they're translating it in English as Don't Drink and Get Married. I don't know. It's kind of weird, but it's true. In Brazil, they changed the titles of the movies. I didn't know that. But anyhow, yeah, it's very your language could definitely carve your behavior, bring forth a different environment, bring a vibe.
It had sense. It had really sense. For example, I remember now that when I went with my friends to another city from my natal city, my first city, we visit a city on Peru that is really far. It's on the highway, on the highlands. There, for example, you can find different people from you. Different people in many ways. For example, they normally live in camps. They live really far from the city. They do not have education. They do not have. I mean, they are quite different from you, but because of the environment, because of their life, right? Their style of life. So you can find there a way how they communicate, and they have especially a accent. They have especially accent. Their accent is like it's like when someone says sorry for something, or when someone beg you for something. This is the way how they express, right? And you can see them, and you can see them in their culture that they have the same behavior, right? They express in that way. It's like do you need something, or could you please help me with this? It's like it's people like very, I don't know how to say that. People that beg you for everything. So in a way, they shape the way how they live, right? Because you can arrive there and you can say whatever, and you can try to say something, but I don't know. I feel that. So now that I'm thinking about how your language can change your culture, it's really interesting. It's an interesting tool, a way to understand many other cultures.
Absolutely. And that's why hopefully within the next couple episodes we can get a guest on here whose first language is not Spanish, who might be from a different culture, to maybe give us a little bit of insight. I feel like we don't have those conversations enough between people from different cultures where you're trying to connect, you're trying to understand. You might realize we're a lot more alike than we are different. Look at me and you. I think we have many similarities, and we're from opposite sides of the Americas. You're in South America, I'm in North America, and we still have some similarities with our families, with the way we think, with some of our daily routines, and we actually have a pretty good friendship, and we talk like as if we grew up in the same culture. Do you think we would have the same friendship in Spanish? Probably, yeah, but it'd be a little different, right?
Yes. Yes, but we can try that. We can try.
But you know what? You know what? I'm gonna hold that story for another day. But definitely, I do not want to abandon my Spanish language either. Sometimes I'm always talking in English, and I need to go visit my abuela and talk to her in Spanish for a little while, just to get those Spanish motors.
Just to refresh.
But we can't forget all the languages we know. Every language is a key to a door.
Yes, totally. I totally agree. Okay, my friend. I hope the next episode we can have a guest from other part of the world, because it's really it's really funny to share this experience and to share this different point of view.
Yeah, I think we will. I'll go ahead and see if I can make a couple phone calls, see if I can get someone to come on here. Hopefully, as we go, we keep having more interesting conversations. We get to learn more about each other. And I think we're good to go for episode 1. This is the Tung Podcast with Eduardo Castillo and Ramon Gonzalez. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Eduardo, for stopping in.
It's a pleasure for me.
Alrighty. Everybody have a good night and get home safe.
Thank you very much, my friend. Thank you, Ben, for everyone. Thank you.